Let's get, oh, what the heck? Hello. There it is. Forgot to connect it. Whoops. Connect it to the desktop. Hold on a sec, guys. Forgot to connect. Mission control. Let's do this. Oh, my bad. Hold on. Give it 1 sec. While you're at it, subscribe to the channel. Do all the things. Oh, is it going to connect? There it goes. All right. We're good now. Jesus. Dummy. Forgot to do all that. Anyways, what's happening, guys? Welcome to Film Junkee Live. It is Monday. Hopefully you guys had a good weekend. I had a pretty good weekend myself, which I'll talk about in a little bit here. But yes, hit that like, thumbs up, subscribe, do all the things. We got the Patreon. If you want to support the Patreon, I do a post show after every Monday show. Talk about the show and other things too, you know, for about 4 or 5 minutes. Or if you want to be a member, do that as well. So hopefully you guys are good. Got, you know, the news. Like I said, we're dipping now that we're not in summer blockbuster season. There's not going to be like a shit ton of news like there usually is. But hey, we still talk. We still talk. Who's out there? Let's see who's out there, guys. We got Mr. Clone Avenger. What's up? What's going on? Enjoying this nice, cool day in Alabama after the past few months of swamp. Wow, so all the humidity came over here then, Clone Avenger, because it's been humid in California. And it sucks. Football's almost here. Raiders. You're a Raiders fan and you live in Alabama? That is interesting. Very interesting. What's going on, Ryan? I'm reading Hush. It's such a page turner, and I don't mean Sophie. Haha. Yep, it definitely is. It's a good story. It's definitely a good story. Arkham Knights, good to see you, buddy. All right. Let's see who else we got. We got Jacob. Honey Don't was massively disappointing. I shouldn't be saying that about a movie with Margaret Qualley and Aubrey Plaza sex scene. Yeah. Kind of sucks that that movie was not that great. And yeah, there's definitely, they get into it. They get into it. So Houston, we have a problem. Good to see you, Arkham Knight, of course. Kenny, what's happening? Hope you are doing well on this Monday. Yeah, you know, just trying to stay cool as possible. Jeez, like I said, that freaking humidity made its way over to SoCal. Lovely. I said lovey like I was Mr. Hal from Gilligan's Island. What's going on, Mr. Fear Jason? What's happening? We got Hunter Iggy right here. The Angry Badger on his YouTube channel right now released a video say James Gunn ruined David Corenswet. I don't know who Angry Badger is, but something tells me, is he a fan of another director? Maybe. I don't know. Could be that. Who knows? Who knows? And we got Indiana Jake. Good to see you. Eden was okay. Yeah, like I said, we're in those months where we're just going to be getting, you know, there's going to be some gems, but there's going to be some misses. And Honey Don't was sadly a miss. Margaret Qualley was great. She was great in that movie, but the script was pretty crappy. Aubrey Plaza was not great. I thought her character was not that good, except for when she was moaning a lot. Anyways, okay, my dad lived in California for years. His dad was in the Army. I became a fan because of him. All I know is losing CC. Yeah, there you go. I know what I was about to say. Jeez. Well, you know, maybe this year could be their year. You never know. You just never know. But anyways, guys, appreciate you spending some time with me right now. We got plenty to talk about when it comes to, you know, DC. Ugh. I just have something. What the hell was that? Anyways. Random things that happen when you're talking. Like choking on your spit. Don't you hate when that happens, when you're trying to talk and you choke on your spit and you start freaking coughing like you're going to die? That's like the worst thing. I mean, when good old God was making us, why did he make that whole thing where you just swallow your saliva just a little bit wrong and all of a sudden you're just, you're choking on your own saliva that is always in your mouth. It's so annoying. But anyways... Like I said, hopefully you guys had a good weekend. I had a good weekend. I did not stay home this weekend. Not a lot. I did not stay home a lot. That's why when we go through the tweets, not a lot of tweets to go through because I wasn't home. When I'm not home, I try to ignore Twitter. But yeah, I was gone all day Saturday. All day. Didn't come back till Sunday. And then even on Sunday, I was only home for like, you know, a few hours before I went to my mom's house and had dinner with her. But yeah, went to my friend's daughter's birthday who turned 1 year old, you know. You know, that whole thing. They're not going to remember it at all, but hey, there's plenty of people taking pictures and everything. But like I was talking about the weather when Clone Avenger was talking about how now Alabama wasn't as humid. I'm telling you, it sucks because for the past, even though right now it's cloudy, we actually might be getting a thunderstorm, which is always cool. At least if it's going to be muggy and it's going to feel like a hot fart outside. At least give me a freaking thunderstorm. Give me a good thunderstorm. And it's raining. It's actually raining. It rained. I actually got woken up on Saturday, thank God, after that 5.5 hour long vodka stream, which was always fun. We had Ernie Altbacker back talking about Batman Azteca and all kinds of things. It was always a fun conversation, but I had it in my head because I had to go to my friend's birthday, or her daughter's birthday, with other friends, and it's you know, it's like an hour away. So I had to be up and out the door by 9:30. And I didn't set an alarm because, you know, vodka stream, I'm going, okay, I'm only going to go 4 hours. Only going to go 4 hours. 5.5 hours later, yeah. And, of course, feeling a little lit up as I am. So I didn't set an alarm. But luckily, thunder woke me up at like 8:30 or 8:23, I remember. It was like 8:23. And all of a sudden I was like, oh, shit, I gotta start getting ready. So good times. But choking on saliva, really. But yeah, so did that, and it was humid over there. It wasn't supposed to be humid because she lives towards the beach. It should have been nice and breezy and cooler than it is over here because I live in the more inland play, you know, and so it's more desert-like. And I was going, oh, it's going to be nice over there. But no, it was sweltering, and yeah. And then, of course, you know, you go to a kid's birthday. Everybody's got other kids. It's kind of like, when are we going to... As much as, I mean, I love seeing my friends and everything. But then, of course, we celebrated somebody else's birthday that night. So that was a lot of fun. So, yeah, and I stayed over at my friend's house. Didn't want to drive because you don't want to do that. And, yeah, and then I had lunch with, or not lunch, but dinner with Mama Film Junkie last night with Auntie Film Junkie as well. So, good times, good times. Choking on, so yeah, saliva. You gotta love that and everything. But anyways, just rambling about everything. So hopefully you guys had a good week or two. All right, let's get to it. Let's talk about some of these tweets right here. We got Highlander. That's right, the Highlander reboot that is starring Henry Cavill, that has Russell Crowe and Dave Bautista. Guess who else is joining the cast? Oh, that'll be Karen Gillan. That's right, from Guardians of the Galaxy, of course. And what was that movie that she was in? Something Jane? Sweet Jane? Something. She was in a Netflix movie where she was kind of like a badass, right? Forgot what movie that was. Something was there. I don't know. I forgot exactly what that movie was. But it was good. I remember enjoying it because she was like pretty much a badass. But yes, so we got Karen Gillan. I always thought it was Jillian, but it's Karen Gillan. So yeah. I didn't turn that off. So yeah, we got her joining right there. So the cast is being stacked pretty nicely. So we're gonna have a little Guardians of the Galaxy reunion with Dave Bautista and then of course Karen Gillan right there. Pretty hyped, yeah. I'm pretty hyped too. It's gonna be interesting to see how it is, and I'm guessing that's why Cavill he's been growing his hair out. It doesn't seem like he's getting rid of his hair. And she's definitely a baddie. You are correct, sir. She's tall too. Apparently, she's like 5'10", 5'11". I think she's really tall. You know, I remember before we got Rachel Brosnahan as Lois Lane. I even toyed with the idea if he was going to bring some Guardians of the Galaxy actors over to the DCU. I remember I even suggested because hey, the last Lois Lane we got in the cinematic world was a redhead. So maybe Karen Gillan could be a Lois Lane, a potential Lois Lane. I think she could have been a good Lois Lane, and I'm wondering if she was actually maybe considered by Jimmy Guns at one point. Who knows? Guess we'll never know, but we'll see. Maybe that'll be, maybe there'll be, you know, when it comes to more things that get revealed from Superman and James Gunn and podcasts and whatnot, maybe there'll be things that get revealed of potential Lois Lanes, potential Supermen and Clark Kents out there. You know, as we're going to see, of course, as we're going to talk about the audition for David Corenswet as Superman. Okay. Come on now. Jimmy Guns and DC Studios It's getting ridiculous because it seems like they're just going to keep on making these, and you might as well just use them. Just pay them a little bit of money and use them. I talked about this last week when Peacemaker premiered, that Digimang, they decided to take it upon themselves to make a DC Studios opening, an intro, showing the first appearance of Peacemaker, and then flipping and then showing the DC Studios logo. Well, obviously we got Supergirl that's coming out next year. They also did one for Green Lantern, but now we got a Supergirl one, and I'm just like going, come on, what are we doing? Right here. There she is. Of course, we don't get the sound. I don't know. The sound's not. Guess they didn't put sound on that one. I don't know. But I'm just going out. Why not? Why not have that? It just seems like it'd be such a simple thing to kind of do, or you could just pay these guys. Personalize each piece of content. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. That's weird. I thought there were. Am I having? No, I don't think there's any audio on that. Unless my audio just decided to stop working. I don't think. But yeah, it's nice. You know things are bad, guys. You know things are bad when it comes to the economy in the United States. You know things are bad when McDonald's, garbage. McDonald's is garbage. I'll have a McGriddle every now and again, and yes, their fries are pretty good, but their burgers suck. Their sandwiches suck. I don't know. I'm just not a fan of McDonald's, and I always go, what the hell, when I see a long line at McDonald's, like, what are you guys doing? And it always seemed like, oh yeah, because McDonald's is the budget, you get the budget stuff, budget. But here we go right here. Breaking, McDonald's is cutting combo meal prices just weeks after the CEO admitted the menu had gotten too expensive and promised to make things right, according to CNN. So, hey, at least he's going to make things right, but that just shows you, like, when McDonald's is too expensive, that's pretty ridiculous. I mean, seriously, cooking at home is cheaper now. And you could cook quality food at home for cheaper than going to a fast food restaurant now. Especially going to a regular restaurant. It's ridiculous. The prices are it's crazy. I mean, I had an appetizer that was pretty good. It was a quesadilla at the restaurant we went to celebrate a birthday. I had a quesadilla that was $18. That was an appetizer. It cost more than some of the burgers they were serving, and I'm like going, Jesus. But it was a certain kind of beef that they put in there. But I'm just telling you. Like I said, I know people like McDonald's. I get it. It can be good, especially if you had a night of drinking. But I just never, ever crave a McDonald's hamburger. I will, however, that McGriddles is pretty tight. That's good. I'll have a McGriddles. I'll definitely have a McGriddles. True Detective. Who are fans? Anybody fans of True Detective out there? Now, the first season, of course, was phenomenal. Matthew McConaughey, Woody Harrelson, they did a great job. It was a gripping. It was everything you'd want in something like that. The back and forth, flashing back and everything, and the mystery of it all. And, of course, they won awards when it came to all that. Season 2 with Colin Farrell and Vince Vaughn I didn't like it. Me and my ex, we tried. We tried to watch that, and we got halfway through and went, this kind of blows. Like, it just didn't work, and I think a lot of people can admit to that. Now, I didn't watch 3 or 4. I know, like, the third one was Mahershala Ali, I believe, and the fourth one was Jodie Foster, and I heard those were good. I'm probably going to have to eventually watch those, and I totally was, like, baffled. I'm like, they're on season 5? Oh, yeah, there was 2 other seasons. But guess who might actually lead season 5? Nicolas Cage. What? I'm gonna go with just the variety saying this. We don't need this guy right over here. We don't care what that guy says. But yeah. So Nicolas Cage, True Detective. Hey, sign me up for that. I'll definitely watch that. All right. What else we got? Okay, I'm gonna have to come back, and there's a couple of things DCU related I might have to come back and check out. Oh man, I was having some fun in my mentions. I had some dumbasses in my mentions, and one guy who was in my mentions, he blocked me after saying some really stupid shit. Anybody who was wondering about the Blade Runner 2099, that's actually going to be on Amazon Prime or Amazon Video, which it should have a theatrical release. You would think it's Blade Runner. Why would you not put that out in movie theaters? Maybe they will. Limited, could be something. But we heard about this a while ago, and finally it's going to be coming out. It's going to be releasing in 2026. I think it might be premiering at a film festival or something. Who knows? But yeah, Blade Runner 2099, that of course is starring Michelle Yeoh and Hunter Schafer, will finally be upon us when it comes to... Hopefully the quality's good. I imagine it's going to be. I don't know if it's going to be the quality of the previous two, but it, you know, I'm hoping. I don't know who's directing it. I don't even remember who's directing it, but, you know, those two. Michelle Yeoh, you can't go wrong with her. Can't go wrong with her at all. Hunter Schafer, I have a feeling she's going to be playing like a replicant type. I don't know. She just has that look to her. But, yeah, we'll see. Okay, let's see. We have, oh, this is cool right here. You guys know I'm a sucker for art, so I always like to talk about someone's art, and we have some Superman art right here that is from Jason Palmer. Jason Palmer, he actually, you could tell, like, he drew this out when it came to Superman, and he also has a Lex Luthor piece of art right here, but Superman Legacy he wanted to show first. So we got this piece of art right here that shows everyone, yes, even Dean Cain, you people out there. Yeah, he even included Dean Cain. He also included, of course, Crypto, right behind David Corenswet. Of course, Christopher Reeve being the biggest one on the image, which is pretty cool. Tom Welling's Smallville Superman right here. And then, of course, the Superboy and George Reeves right there. And then, of course, we have what's his name? Goddamn, Brandon Routh, I don't know, Routh, right? With and I like that the fact that he actually used the Kingdom Come Superman costume, because that one's just pretty beautiful, to be honest. That one's pretty beautiful. What else we got? You know what people are watching right now too. You know what people are watching right now? They're watching this. This is why I wore my Batman '89 logo shirt, because people right now are watching Batman and Batman Returns. If you have an AMC, they are showing not right now, but they're about to, or at least my time. Some people are, but I guess 7 o'clock showings to Batman and Batman Returns are happening, which I'll show you the poster in a little bit. But that's why I'm wearing this right here. Let's see what else we got. Anybody know who Madison Beer is? I'm sure some people out there know who she is. She's an influencer. She's got quite a name, Madison Beer. And naturally, you know, she does a lot of selfies. She does a lot of things. When it, you know, she's a pretty girl. She's a pretty girl, I believe. She's the one that's dating now Justin Herbert, the QB for the Chargers, maybe. I don't know. But this is her right here, just in case you're wondering. So that's Madison Beer right there. Take it a selfie. She takes a lot of selfies, and there she is right there. According to her, she actually did an audition for Superman. She says that she auditioned for a role in Superman, but didn't get it. This is old. This is old right here, too. This is from 2023. But a lot of people were passing it around because it was just kind of funny, because now that we've seen Superman, you know it was Lois Lane, right? No, it wasn't. It was most likely Eve. Yeah. I mean, let's face it. She was likely auditioning for Eve. She fits that whole mold of selfie kind of thing. So the reason why I'm bringing this up, because I saw that because people were retweeting it again, and they're like, oh yeah, after seeing the movie, she definitely auditioned for Eve. Some people say it was Kat, you know, but I don't think it was Kat. I think it was definitely Eve. But I posted it had to be for Lois, and again I put a bunch of dots. After my tweet to indicate sarcasm, but it's amazing when people don't understand the sarcasm. They don't. I was feeling sarcastic last night, because even my tweet before this, guys, it was this one right here. You know, weapons past 200 million. We're going to talk about the box office, and I just put all these movies just keep on flopping, huh? And for some reason, both these tweets were getting traction, and people were like, "What the fuck you talking about, dude?" I'm like, sarcasm, yeah. Sorry, I know sometimes it can't translate. Sometimes I get fooled by sarcasm too when I get somebody in my mentions. I get it. But it is kind of funny when you see people take tweets too seriously. And I'm just, man, it's sarcasm. But yeah, I mean, maybe, but then there's a chance that maybe Madison Beer did try to audition for Lois Lane, but I doubt it. I doubt it. You know, she doesn't exactly have Lois Lane vibes to her. Oh, anyways, what are we doing here? Okay. Yeah, we got that. We got this. Let's still talk about that. I thought this was pretty funny right here. Somebody made a little Scooby-Doo. A little Scooby-Doo. We got Cinemorph right here. I don't know if they made it or somebody else made it, but yeah, apparently they did. And this is from Cinemorph. And this tweet actually went pretty, you know, it got some traction for them because obviously Alien Earth is out. I still have to watch the previous episode, and then of course I got the new episode that's coming out tomorrow, which I'll be catching up tomorrow for sure. I'll probably talk about that on Wednesday. But she made this right here, and it's pretty funny. I mean, it's a funny little gif right here. I mean, that's good. It's Shaggy and Scooby running away from a xenomorph. She just put that in there. I just thought that was cool. You know, when you just randomly go on your For You side and find something fun like that. Love that. Alien 3. Somebody was like, is this Alien 3? Is this Alien 3? Yeah, I mean, it could be. But yeah, so here's... Okay, so what I found funny about this... So here's what I was talking about. Obviously, people are enjoying. I'm kind of wondering, there's probably some sold-out screenings out there. Probably some sold-out screenings out there when it comes to Batman and Batman Returns. And this is a pretty damn cool poster. The fact that they got the Batman 89 logo, and then, of course, the Batman Returns logo, half of it, like a yin and yang, where you see that cold kind of in there. But I'm kind of wondering... why the Batman Forever font? Isn't that interesting? I know. See, my dumb brain just goes, why did they use the Batman Forever font? That is 100% the Batman Forever font. I know. I recognize that font. They were like, okay, yeah, we're not screening Batman Forever, but we're going to use the font. And I'm like, all right, cool, I guess. It's just like interesting. Why not use the fonts that you use for the titles of both movies? But they wanted to like, let's just keep one font and just use the Batman Forever font instead. I'm like, okay, that's fine. That's cool. A Scooby-Doo and a crypto crossover, that could work. That could definitely work. Let's see, we got some more art right here. This one's for not superheroes. This is for weapons. We got art right here from Pharrell Rodriguez, and he made this little piece. That is creepy, especially if you've watched the movie, you know exactly. You know a lot of the things that are happening in this image, but man, do they have, it's just everything's in here. The bell, the cans of soup, the scissors, the hot dog, fork, the tree, the kids, and then of course, I'm totally Gladys, right? Aunt Gladys? Yes, we got Aunt Gladys right there. Of course, she looks like the Joker or freaking Pennywise. Woo, buddy. That's cool, though. And again, weapons is just killing it. Killing it. And guys, if you're wondering if sometimes maybe, I don't know if it's taken effect, but if you're wondering that if you watch like a YouTube short of mine or something like that, maybe I look a little prettier than I do now. Hopefully. Because apparently, according to the BBC, YouTube's been doing some crazy stuff when it comes to AI. They were already going to be doing something where they're going to be trying to make sure that there are user accounts that are 18 and above before, you know, they can allow people to watch certain things or whatever. But according to the BBC, YouTube is secretly using AI to edit people's videos. Skin is being smoothed and sharpened. Features like ears are being altered. YouTube confirmed there's an experiment on shorts to unblur and improve clarity. There's currently no way to opt out. Yeah, so it's shorts. So I don't know. I don't know if that's working. I normally, after I post a short, I don't watch it again because I already watched it a few times. I edited the damn thing, so I don't want to watch it again. But yeah, I don't know. So if I start looking a little bit more pretty, like, you know, then, hey, thank you, YouTube. Whatever. Can you make my my jawline and chin stick out a little bit more? A little more chiseled? To do that. That'd be sweet. What is this? What the hell? They deleted this? No, they didn't. Wow, I thought they did. Okay. Okay. They didn't? Okay. So people in the UK, apparently, I don't know. People just need to stop. James Bond, everybody's anxious about, okay, who's going to be the next James Bond? And last week we talked about how somebody, when they were interviewing Glenn Powell, that's right, Glenn Powell, they asked if he wanted to play James Bond. Stupid question, and luckily he answered very smartly and said, I'm a Texan. That would be, no, not going to do that. Let's keep that with somebody who's British. So then somebody decided to ask the same question to Austin Butler. What? Austin Butler, when asked if he wants to play James Bond. This is from Hits Radio UK. That wouldn't be a good idea. I'm American. I think it would be kind of sacrilegious. It's got to be somebody from the UK. A villain, I'd do that. Yeah. Who are these journalists or whomever that are asking these questions to these American actors who don't even have any kind of, no. It's ridiculous. I can't really see that. Yeah, it's just like the same people who are now fan casting Austin Butler as Batman because he got super jacked. I'm like going, no. And nobody's gonna, I mean, I did see people kind of go like, yeah, well, we got actors from over there playing like Batman and stuff. I mean, Christian Bale, Henry Cavill. I mean, they played him, and it's like, well, that's the part of James Bond. I mean, yes, they could do the accent, but I don't know. It just, I don't think, no. Just keep, no. Should be somebody from the UK. Just do that. Zack Snyder. So we love that Zack Snyder, of course, is going to be filming his passion project, one of his all-time passion projects, where it's going to have very, very limited VFX. There's not going to be anything crazy sci-fi. It's not going to be shot on stages, blue screens, green screens, all this kind of stuff. We heard about this last week, that it was finally released that last photograph is actually going to be going in production. He's got his 2 leads. He's finally going to be shooting it in not too long from now, but he's scouting. Now, what Zack loves to do when it comes to his Vero, he loves to post behind the scenes things, and he's scouting locations, and he's already shot a couple of great images. Look at that stud. Look at that stud right there. So he's holding his camera, of course, and then there's another shot. I'm not sure if that's, I'm assuming that's probably him too, but I don't know. But that is gorgeous. Maybe that could be somebody else. It might be somebody else. Somebody that looks like is wearing a hat. So Zack might have just shot that image right there of somebody else. Maybe it could be one of his producing partners or whatever. But goddamn, is that beautiful. That is goddamn beautiful. Yeah, and that's the thing. We're going to get some gorgeous on-set shots of the last photograph. I mean, that's one of the things that, hey, come on, guys. Snyder fans out there, if you really, let's rally behind all this, all right? Take a break, okay? Superman is done. There's nothing else coming out anymore when it comes to James Gunn and Superman. You could relax. Take all that negativity you throw at Superman and James Gunn and turn it into a positive, huh? Turn it into a positive and lift up this movie, okay? You love Zack, right? So let's go ahead and do that. That's all we can hope for because, well, it seems like most of the loud ones don't give a shit about Zack's non-DC stuff. But I'm hoping that a lot, and I've seen, some of even the loud ones, hey, promote. But I'm just going like, hey, let's promote this a little bit more, huh? Uh-oh, Amazon Prime Video, lawsuit. That's right, lawsuit. We got a lawsuit that's happening, of course, when it comes to Amazon, when it comes to... I think we kind of heard about this before, and this is an argument for why you should definitely buy physical media. I kind of took a break from buying physical media because, trying to put all that stuff somewhere, and I know people have great collections. I've seen Scott's collection, Scott McClellan. He once gave me a tour after a vodka stream, to show all the stuff that he has, and like when it comes to DVDs and comic books and statues, it's crazy. He's got a whole basement though. That's the thing. He's got the room for it. Although he's slowly running out, it seems like. I don't really have room. I didn't have room in my old apartment to have like a big old shelf and everything. Maybe I could make some room here. I would have more room, but I don't know where exactly I would do it. So, but this is an argument for buying physical media, which you should anyways. If you really like something or you really want something, I mean, you just never know when it comes to digital. A proposed class action lawsuit has been filed against Prime Video. The lawsuit accuses the service of misleading customers into believing they purchased movies when they're only getting a license to watch, which can be revoked at any time. Yeah, I think we heard about that earlier, where we heard that, I think last year sometime, or maybe it was even before that, yeah, even though you purchase something digitally, you're only purchasing a license to watch it. You're not actually purchasing the movie. And if it disappears from the platform, you can't watch it anymore, even though you purchased it. So that's why you get physical, hey, it's there forever. So it's just crazy. Yeah, I used to have a bunch of DVDs too, man. I have like 4 boxes full of DVDs still in the garage. They're probably getting melted. No, they're not in the garage. I think I actually did throw away like the DVDs. I was like, I don't need them anymore. So anyways, yeah, pretty crazy. And we got a new shot from Mortal Kombat of Scorpion right here. You know what? I have a, and I don't want to jinx it, guys, but I have a good feeling. That Mortal Kombat 2 is going to be light years better than the first one. I think they probably hopefully learned from their mistakes of the first one. They saw what people didn't like from the first one, and hopefully they're going to make improvements. The big improvement is not even having Cole, that character that they created for the first one, he wasn't even in the trailer. Now it's all about Johnny Cage, and you got Carl Urban playing Johnny Cage. That's cool. But have more Scorpion and Sub-Zero kind of stuff. So look at this shot right here. Scorpion fighting, I guess, in his lair or in hell or something. I don't know. Hey, you got a new subscriber. Dilly. I think he's fighting Noob Saibot and Smoke. Or who's the purple one? I know Noob Saibot's the shadowy one. Who was the Rain? Is that Rain? That's right. Rain was also the... But he was also he was the purple one, right? So that's what I'm just kind of wondering. I'm like, I don't know if is that Rain, because I was trying to remember. I'm like, which one has like a purple? I was like, oh, that was Rain. It's not Smoke. Smoke was gray, but yeah, but I'm pretty sure that the other guy is Noob Saibot. But yeah, that was pretty cool. And that's pretty much it. That's, like I said, didn't really tweet that much when it came to that purple rain. Purple. That's probably why they called him Rain. I don't know. He was a secret character in the third one, I believe. But I've heard that Mortal Kombat is an Avengers level film. Ah, man, that's quite something right there. What do we got here? Okay, I was just looking at some things. What the hell? Weird. I was just looking at some of my mentions. Somebody is spamming my mentions right now. Someone just like spam my mentions. You gotta love that. No, but okay, well, let me get to it right here. What was I gonna... Yeah, I'll get to it. All right, so let's talk about the DCU news and everything. So obviously we already talked about, the Peacemaker season 2 premiere. Obviously it premieres on Thursday, so I'm not going to be talking about it on Film Junkee Live. I'll be talking about it on the Vodka stream, at the opening of the Vodka stream. And of course, with the panel, we'll be talking about it. But, of course, the big thing was how they did the whole recap, previously in the DCU. And they did all that. And then seeing the reactions has been kind of funny. It's been pretty funny. And then, of course, when it comes to little things like, hey, I don't know if you guys saw this, but I'm just looking at, of course, DC Film News. There was obviously there was a couple of little Easter eggs when it came to characters. And again, this is what Jimmy Gunn's really loves to do, is to just put these little Easter eggs in Peacemaker and everything, just to have something where the general audience not going to know anything about these certain characters or whatever. They're not, of course, but for us nerdy boys and girls out there, even if we don't know, it is still kind of cool. But there was a couple of newspapers that were shown, I think, in Peacemaker's, the other Peacemaker's room that he went through. But yeah, I said the top trio defeats the Rainbow Creature. So there's a mention of the Rainbow Creature. That green aura from the Rainbow Creature has turned us into two-dimensional people, Robin. So we had that, and then we had the trio saves Gotham from Ultra Humanite. So just some random characters that like people are like, who the fuck is that? But yeah, from Evergreen Sentinel. So yeah, Rainbow Creature and Ultra Humanite. And then I'm sure you guys saw this scene right here too, right at the beginning. We had the that is like a legit costume of the White Rabbit. That is the White Rabbit right there. And let's see, I think from behind the scenes from the actress. Yeah. So Brie Noel, who played the White Rabbit. There she is right there. I mean, that is 100% the costume if you were to look it up. That is the costume, and there she is with Peacemaker. And then, yes, guys, if you were to look, and if you remember the scene, Guy Gardner did mention something about her lower half. He did. He mentioned something about her lower half, basically showing a certain toe of a camel. That's right, he did. And yes, the costume, you see a little crease. You see a crease. So Guy Gardner, he saw it and he mentioned it. That yes, very much, you see a little crease. You see the little indentation. And then naturally, of course, you know what I love too when all this stuff happens? Because obviously with this, and with, there's a certain scene that happens also in season one. Let's just say that James Gunn was going, okay, we had the boys, so now I'm gonna bring some of the craziness that happened in the boys. I'm gonna bring it to the DC universe. Of course, he's bringing it to Peacemaker, not quite bringing it to Superman or Batman or anything. He's not gonna I don't think he's gonna go overboard like he's going with Peacemaker, because obviously I think, and spoiler alert, like I said, guys, I'm gonna talk not a lot of spoilers. I'm not gonna say what happens at the end of the episode and certain things, but I'm just going to mention that, yes, there is an orgy scene in Peacemaker episode 1 of season 2. And a lot of people were talking about it. And man, I even talked about this. I talked about this on the Vodka stream, because one of the things that I love when it comes to a lot of this is how, I'm not a diehard James Gunn fan, and some of the stuff, some of his jokes and the way that he undercuts scenes with jokes annoys the piss out of me. But I do like the fact that he's just like, fuck it, let's just do this. And yes, there's an orgy scene, and it's full frontal, people just thrusting on each other. It's full frontal. There's just everywhere. There's titties, there's ass, there's dick and balls. It's all over the place. It's all over the place. And of course, people are freaking out too that, what? Peacemaker is bisexual? Literally, James Gunn said that, yes, that's part of the character. And back in 2020 and 2021, season 1, he just said, yeah, anything that's going to make him feel good, he's all right with that. I mean, the dude likes to walk around in his whitey tighties a lot and sing. So yeah, I would think that he was also bisexual. But of course, a lot of people didn't know that until now. I mean, you could see that reaction online, which is funny. And I'm just kind of going, okay. I think somebody in my chat was also not really liking that as well last week. I don't remember if you remember that guy. Yeah, he was like not comfortable, and it's like, okay, you don't have to be comfortable with it. Just turn, it's a scene that lasts for what, 2 minutes? It's not even that much. But it's funny because when you get the conservative side of all this entertainment, they lose their minds when it comes to all this, raunchy things that happen in this show. But then, of course, you get the diehard Snyder fans that also do the same thing. They act just like the conservative side, that it's just like, oh my God, how dare you, James Gunn? And then they just start making up bullshit. I saw a tweet today that said that James Gunn was marketing Peacemaker that has an orgy scene to kids. Literally lying that they were marketing Peacemaker to kids, to children, when that is just 100% not true. Not true. And some of these guys are actually going with that and saying that. They're just like, they're doing that whole thing, you know, putting their hands on their hips and, oh, God damn it, James Gunn, how dare you? But they're literally, I literally saw that tweet, that they're marketing it to children. That when did that happen? James Gunn expressed very much in a lot of interviews that, oh no, it's an adult show. It's not for kids. They're trying to flip it where the fact that James Gunn and DC Studios released Superman on digital when Peacemaker was coming out, so then, because he said, oh yeah, because I want to make sure that people saw Superman before they saw Peacemaker, so they're flipping that as if he was talking about children. And then, of course, you have diehard conservatives that are like, Jesus Christ, that are doing the exact same thing. It's like, no, that's not what he did. It is TVMA. It is 100%, all the things are there. Now, if your children are watching it, that is on you, for sure. Just saying, but it's just kind of funny when you see something like that. I'm like, oh my God. But I'm like, diehard Snyder fans, come on. You like Snyder. Snyder likes sex in his movies. When did you become fuddy-duddies? I've said this before. When have you become fuddy-duddies? It's not, again, these are just the loud, stupid ones. Okay? But when did they become such fuddy-duddies? I mean, do we not remember this? Do we not remember this? We got... Probably shouldn't even show that. But do we not remember that? You have Batman going down on Catwoman, and Zack was like, canon. He had something that came out last year when he was talking to Frank Miller, Alan Moore, and he was talking about sex and superheroes. I mean, like, now granted, I'll give it to you, different styles. They are not the same. When they show sex, not the same. Okay? You got Peacemaker, who has, a crazy, like, 2-minute or whatever, 3-minute orgy sequence that just has everybody just naked everywhere. You got that, of course. You have different, things when it comes to James Gunn and how he shows all that. And then you have Zack, who in Rebel Moon, the first part, has a very long sex scene that went way too long. That's very quiet. It's sensual. The second sex scene in Rebel Moon 2, Part 2, whatever, better. But the first sex scene, man, I remember just sitting there going, this is lasting way too long, man. Even though I didn't mind seeing Sofia Boutella naked, I was okay with that. But at the same time, I'm just like, Jesus Christ, guys. I don't know. It's just funny seeing a lot of this stuff here. But then again, there's been some interesting things. I remember I think it was yesterday. Yesterday, I don't know if you guys know who Slav is. Slav Talks. Slab Pod Talks. What's his? I always forget like his full screen name. Slav Free Talk. Slav's Free Talk. I don't know if you guys know who that guy is. He's got his own show. I think he was actually streaming. He might be streaming right now too. But he he does streams. He does videos and everything. And it was funny too because one of these the diehard guys who was part of a podcast who they've actually been in my mentions too. This guy specifically has said shit in my mentions, just really stupid shit. This guy like made a video, like a 4-minute video, basically just because Slavs was talking about the billboards, like the billboards on the trucks. We're doing a campaign, billboards on the trucks. Henry Cavill, Superman, bring back Henry Cavill, bring back Zack, all that bullshit. And Slavs just talked about it, and I guess talked about it a lot. And then of course, this one of the guys from this podcast just made a video, literally turn on his camera and his microphone to just say some of the most some unhinged shit. I mean, even his eyes, you just look at the eyes, towards the end, you can find it online. You could probably, if you look up his, or even see his response video, because I saw his response video to it as well. And he actually, he was very level-headed to the response video of just all right, well, let me defend myself when it comes to this. But I mean, literal threats were said at the end of this video from this person. And it's just wow. I'm we're really getting to this point where somebody's going to threaten a YouTuber to go after him and his channel? Threats. Not the first time. Hey, we all know, again, that certain individual that goes by the Jedi, who doesn't talk about Star Wars, following me to the bathroom, and of course, wanting things to happen at one of these events. I don't know why these guys are so upset now. But again, you just look at the eyes. You can look at the eyes of that individual. You can look at the eyes of this individual. There's just something very unhinged and wrong behind those eyes. It's like, it's just crazy, man. Yeah. So I'm like, yeah, I just saw that. But it was part, but obviously this could be part of this as well too, where it's just, I mean, I tell you what, it's not everything was supposed to be like one-noted when it came to everything, and that's what's good about this. We talked about this on the Vox stream. Like, yeah, the first couple of things, you have an R-rated animated series by James Gunn. You have a PG-13 Superman movie, James Gunn. You have an R-rated, even probably more R-rated, Peacemaker Season 2. And then next year, we get Supergirl. That's only going to be produced by James Gunn. We have Clayface, produced by James Gunn. We have Lanterns coming out, produced by James Gunn. So, yeah, we're starting off with James Gunn, but then it's going to be different things. And not everything's going to be for everybody. But it's just freaking hilarious when you see like the conservative side of media and diehard Snyder fans getting their panties in a fucking bunch over something that they don't even want to watch. That's what's so crazy. It's just so crazy. But yeah, it was just something I wanted to bring up because, I mean, like I said, those guys have been in my mentions too, just completely unhinged, and you know they're paying money for wasting money for for these billboards, these moving billboards and whatever. It's like, just take that money and donate to AFSP. Can you just run charities or get some merchandise and give it away to your fans? Do stuff like that. I don't know, invest in that as opposed to investing in these billboards that just gotten dumb. It just doesn't nothing. No, just stop doing it. It's just, no, people just laugh at it now. It's just, that's what it is. Like, you wasted money on that, and they had their logo like really big on the billboard too. And it's like, oh, that's why you did it. You had your logo all huge. Your podcast logo was like bigger than all the information. It's like, oh yeah, good job. It's just, man, I tell you what, some of these guys. But like I said, you look at the eyes. You look at the eyes and go, oh boy, there's something not right there. Frank Grillo. So we got Frank Grillo. He's got a big secret project apparently. What? Frank Grillo says there's a big secret project in the works. James Gunn leaned in. You know what we got coming next, right? And I'm like, no. He goes, we got something big, and you're all over it. So what the hell is that? So now we got another secret project that Frank Grillo is going to be part of it. It's got to be something Argus. Is it going to be another Suicide Squad? Is it going to be some offshoot of the Suicide Squad? Is it going to be something with Batman? Is it going to be part of the Superman saga? I don't know, because it seems like Rick Flag Sr., he's been in every single thing that we've seen already when it comes to the DCU. Same with Hawk Girl, same with Guy Gardner was not in Creature Commandos, but unless he was dead somewhere in that one scene, because that's the only time you saw Hawk Girl, she was dead in that. Anyways, so what the hell exactly is that? Who knows? Let's see. There are some people that were... Could be like a Justice League International thing or something. DC Agents of Argus. Easy Company. I don't know. A lot of people were coming up with it. It could be Checkmate. Something with Checkmate. But if it's going to be big, it's got to be something with Justice League, right? Justice League International? Or whatever. I don't know. These eyes, do. Okay, so now what do we got? I don't know why they asked James. They asked James Wan. Comicbook.com asked James Wan, who stepped back from directing for a little bit, because I think he got after Aquaman 2, I think he just needed a break, and then he was still producing things. But he said that Peter Safran and him have chatted briefly about doing a project for the DCU, but I highly doubt, unless it's some kind of horror movie, like a small horror movie within the DCU, I do not think that James Wan wants to make one of these movies again. Although, now that there's an actual DC Studios and James Gunn and Peter Safran, they would allow James Gunn to do his thing. See, James Wan, jeez, I am fucking up the names right now. Holy shit, settle down, Beavis. No, I think James Wan, even with the first Aquaman, it got changed, but for the most part, it was what James Wan wanted, and the second one definitely got fucked with. So, it just sucks. But if he were to come back, he would totally have 100%. He would totally have full control. Most control, I should say. And then we have a new shot of David Corenswet as Superman. I put it in the thumbnail because I thought, why not? And yeah, not sure it's a good pose. You get that cape, that beautiful cape that he has. Just doing that little pose. How's he doing that? Yeah. I mean, I guess when they finally got the costume fully done, they're like, all right, do various different movements. And they caught him in a, hey, he's about to run pose right there. There we go. Hey, we got Lisa Jackson. We got Lisa in the we got Lisa in the chat. How was Batman 89 seeing it on the big screen again? I'm sure that was great. And let's see what else we got. That's pretty much it when it comes to that. Okay, and then I wanted to show you guys, let's see, I wanted to talk about some other things. Let's see. Let's talk about the Margot Robbie stuff. Because I wanted to talk about Margot Robbie, and let's see, where was that video? Because this was like being tossed around too. Well, there's a couple things too. There's another thing I was actually, okay, let's talk about this first. So the Justice Gang. A lot of people don't like that name, including the characters. Only Guy Gardner seems to be liking the name of the Justice Gang, and it's not exactly the best name, and I think we can all kind of agree with that. So some people were kind of wondering, like, okay, is the Justice Gang going to still be a thing? And then somebody actually asked an important question to Jimmy Guns right here when it comes to Batman. He's not associated with the Justice Gang. Somebody asked about that. And then somebody followed that up and said, will he ever be? And then Jimmy Guns, of course, put the thinking emoji. Yeah, Batman's going to change it to Justice League. Somebody's got to, right? Somebody? And it should be Batman. And yeah, is this where he punches Guy Gardner? Is this where he's going to end up punching Guy Gardner? Because of the Justice Gang? Because somebody's going to have to change it to Justice League. And yeah, it just seems like Batman would probably do that. That's my guess. Injustice Gang, Justice Gang. Okay, and then of course, yeah, we already shown that. Okay, so here we go right here. So Margot Robbie, we've been wondering if Margot Robbie is going to return to the DCU as Harley Quinn. A lot of people, even including me, I thought, she had her time. They should get somebody else. Why not? But it's Margot Robbie. You know, if you're going to have somebody like Margot Robbie, just like if you have somebody like Viola Davis playing Amanda Waller, you bring her back. And if they're going to bring back Viola Davis, why not bring back Harley Quinn? And apparently, obviously we got Margot Robbie promoting her new movie, and she's been asked about Harley Quinn, and she says she loves Harley Quinn. She would love to do it again. There's more that they could do with Harley Quinn, so she's open to it, even though I thought maybe she wouldn't be. But then, of course, she is being interviewed. She's not going to be like, no, I'm done. She's never going to be, nobody's ever going to say that for sure. But then we have her right here, because we heard Jimmy Guns in an interview say, when somebody asked about her returning as Harley Quinn in the DCU, he said that will be revealed later. So here's what Margot Robbie had to say about that.
So I have to ask, the DC world is changing, expanding. James Gunn, what did he tease the other day? What did he say? Is Margot coming back as Harley? And he said, all will be revealed.
Oh
later.
my God.
Wow.
Titillating.
I guess I'll find out when
say,
everyone else finds out.
You did hear it here first.
No, I heard it here first.
George, so I have to
Wow. Now is she just, being an actress? Which, sometimes you have to do that. You can't say anything. But is she doing that? I don't know. But guess we'll find out, because that's what Jimmy Gunn said. And I love the fact that, she's sitting next to Colin Farrell, who is Penguin. It's kind of funny that she's... And by the way, too, she also mentioned that they wanted to use the Penguin as the main baddie in Birds of Prey. because Birds of Prey, that would have made sense, but Matt Reeves was using him for the Batman, which is kind of weird because they could have just used the more bird-like penguin, the fat, short penguin with the really long nose. They could have just used that penguin instead of Matt Reeves, which he used a more, you know, not so bird-like penguin. He had his own version. But apparently, yeah, they talked about that too. So, I mean, good on Colin Farrell, you know. But, yeah. Who said she aged out of the role? Superman, you really think she aged out of the role? She looks exactly the same as she did 10 years ago. But okay, you know, whatever. That's what you want to say. Don't freak out, guys. There's been a lot of Brandon Sklenar hate lately for some reason. On Twitter, there's been a lot of Brandon, because a lot of people have been fan casting him like crazy for the DCU Batman, which I'm still like going, yes. After seeing scenes from 1923, I'm going, the voice, the is there. He's already built. The dude's big time in shape. They don't have to do any training for 6 months. He's already in Batman shape. He's got a good jaw. He's got a good chin. The eyes maybe are, and sometimes I go, the eyes, yeah. But at the same time, he's going to be wearing that cowl. Maybe they'll have the white lenses. Who knows? But it's kind of funny because there was a lot of hate. And I'm like, Jesus Christ. There's like a lot more hate. I think because people are just tired of hearing about it. But then we have Jimmy Guns right here on the Peacemaker podcast that said something that got people a little riled up when it came to Brendan Sklenar being the DCU Batman.
Filthier than this, right? Listen, I don't know.
He was so scared when he said that, right?
I was watching 1923 last night, you know.
Is that dirty?
Yeah, it's filthy.
So, Jimmy Guns is a fan of 1923, which stars Brendan Sklenar. So you better believe, because, you know, he is online, he is seeing this stuff, you better believe he's got his eye on him at least. Doesn't mean it's going to happen, but at least he has his eye on him. So we'll see. Some people think he's already got the role, and it's like, rumor has it he's already got the role. I highly doubt they've even started casting for Batman and Robin for Brave and the Bold. I doubt it. I don't know. I was watching The Monkey last night. I put on The Monkey. And then I even posted like an image. I was like, you know what? Theo James would be a good choice too. I've always considered him a good choice for Batman as well. And I even made like a little image. Of course, I used Grok to make an image, which was not the easiest thing because sometimes AI is not smart. Because I'm going, okay, can you make David Corenswet's Clark Kent look like he did in the movie? And it just wouldn't do it. And then it kind of did it because I was like, he's got the hair. Okay, but anyways, and I was like, all right. And I was like going, okay, I just had to make this image right here. It took a little bit. But I was like, yeah, there's Theo James as Bruce Wayne. Yeah, the hair is not exactly what it looked like. But hey, maybe his hair would change. I don't know. Oh, come on, you stupid thing. Oh, I froze. Come on, you, Jesus Christ, sorry. Why is this thing, come on, you stupid, I'm having technical, there we go, Jesus. Yeah, this thing's like frozen. Anyways, I just thought he would actually be a pretty good Batman right there. I don't know. That's just me. Keaton and Bale were unknowns at the time. They weren't complete unknowns. Christian Bale already had American Psycho, which was a cult classic, and Michael Keaton, comedian, and he had Mr. Mom, which was a hit. So both of them, Christian Bale, yeah, they were relatively unknown, but they weren't complete unknowns. They were not complete unknowns. Maybe they were relatively unknown, sure, but Michael Keaton was already having success, and Christian Bale was already having some success as well. So I don't know. Theo James could be a good choice. I think he would actually be a really good choice too. But I'm on this Brendan Sklenar train. But it was just funny. Like a lot of people are just like going, no. Who saw the David Corenswet audition tape video? I guess you can't really call it a tape now, but yeah, his audition for Superman. And it's kind of interesting because we've heard about this audition. We heard about Oh yeah, duh, Beetlejuice as well. Well, Beetlejuice came out right before Batman, so yeah. Anyways, yeah, the audition for David Corenswet got released online. I'm not even sure if I could show the whole thing because I know the original video that somebody posted, it got removed. I don't know. I'll show a little bit of it. It's 3 minutes. I don't want to go through the whole thing. I've already watched it. I'm sure some of you guys have seen it too. Just, if you're in Twitter or even on YouTube or something, just type in David Corenswet Superman audition. You'll find it. And, it's interesting because obviously the biggest thing that James Gunn wanted his Clark Superman and his Lois Lane to, when they were doing the audition process, is to have that interview scene. And of course, so right off the bat, that's what they were going to be doing right here. And it's just kind of funny when you see these auditions and you see how different things were right at the beginning, because right now it's just David Corenswet going, okay, this is the way I think I should play it. This is before he's talking to James Gunn and others to be like, how should I really kind of take on? So you do see a difference right here. Of course, naturally, some people are like, oh, this is better. But then I go, well, you didn't really like Superman, so obviously you're going to say that. But, in ways, it is better. But there he is. Like 40 pounds lighter, 30 pounds lighter.
You're sure you want to do this?
Yeah, sure.
So, it's essentially that. His hair's, everything's so different about it, which is interesting.
August 28th, 2025, about 3 p.m. I'm sitting here with, of all people, Superman.
Hello.
Welcome.
Thank you. I'm pleased to be here.
But yeah, even the scene plays out differently too. Like it's not exactly how it plays out in the movie, because obviously things always change,
I get the same way
especially
when
when
I
you
pretend to
finally
be
get
myself.
your Lois and Clark. Things are going to change within the scene.
Recently, it was reported.
But you could tell he was giving off that aura of Clark Kent, little Christopher Reeve. You he was totally trying to summon a little Christopher Reeve.
And you did this without speaking to anyone in national or international defense organizations beforehand. Is that accurate?
Sorry, I thought this was going to be more of like an overall profile.
It's definitely not as.
I don't.
He's not going to yell on
I
this.
was gonna puff face.
No. I just felt a little bit.
Damned, right?
Obviously, the actual scene is a little bit more intense than this. But you could tell that Jimmy Guns was watching this going, okay, I think I got my
This
guy.
is what you do every time.
I'm not doing anything.
You act like nothing's wrong and you pout and you leave.
Nothing is wrong. I am not pouting, and I have things to do at home.
Whatever.
Well, all right, now who's pouting?
Now who's pouting? So, there you go. That was released. I'm wondering if the Rachel Brosnahan one's going to get released. That'd be cool. But yeah, so it's interesting. Like I said, anytime that you've seen the audition for any of these characters, it's always different. It's always so much different. And that's not even like a lot different. He's just, he just gets more emotional in the scene, and there's a lot more, things that are happening. So, yeah, there's the audition. Like I said, if you want to watch the full thing, it's only 3 minutes, long. You can just type it in. DC Film News has it up. Oh, crap. So I just realized something. Yep. My thing stopped recording, but I'm just going to hit record again. There we go. But yeah, he felt a little bit more Reeve. But that's the thing, and I think that's where you go into that process of going, well, like who am I going to model this off of? Obviously, you take it on something like that, you're going to be looking at Christopher Reeve. You're going to be looking at his videos, and I'm sure he did, Corenswet did his research on all that stuff. But then, of course, he has to, of course, make it his own, and that's where working with James Gunn and everybody, it's like, okay, so now you got to make it your own. So it's like, yeah, you can have that vibe, but you got to change it up a little bit. So, all right. Josh, you okay? Silent J, Silent H, OS, operating system. What? All right, interesting. And that's pretty much all the DC news. Well, one of the things I do want to, I guess, it's so funny too, because what the reaction I got from that video where he's explaining the canon, when James Gunn is explaining the canon when it comes to the retcon of Justice League and the Justice Gang, is one of the things that he mentioned was Blue Beetle. Man, so many people were so like, oh my God, Blue Beetle, Blue Beetle. A lot of people on Twitter were excited that he mentioned Blue Beetle. So, that is cool. And a lot of people, hopefully, hopefully Blue Beetle could be added to, he might show up. Man, James Gunn did actually say that too. Hold on a sec. That was something. I saw that today. Hold on. James Gunn, Blue Beetle. Just remembered this right here. Let's see. Says he fits very nicely. So this is from IMDb. So when it comes to Blue Beetle, now, after saying that Blue Beetle fits into both universes just like Peacemaker, he had this to say to IMDb. James Gunn, when asked if Blue Beetle could appear in the upcoming Peacemaker episodes, well, I won't say you're not in luck. What? So now, is that going to be one of the surprise little cameos? I mean, the fact of the matter is the people who got the screeners only got the first 5 episodes. Nobody's seen the last 3, and apparently the last 3 just gets pretty insane. So we got these pocket universes, we got all kinds of things that are happening when it comes to that. So are we going to get a Blue Beetle? Are we going to get Xolo Maridueña? He hasn't teased anything because they're probably being like, no, do not even tease anything when it comes to this. So might have Blue Beetle show up in Peacemaker. That's right. Oh man, can't wait to see the diehards and the conservatives freak out about that one. How dare they have this young kid in this freaking R-rated adult show? It's like, shut up, you fuddy-duddies. My God. It's annoying. It really does. All right, what am I looking for here? Oh, yeah. All right, let's move on to the next topic. Oh, I already had it up. Good, now leave our planet. No more abductions and invasions. Oh, is that what's happening? Oh, he's an alien. Gotcha. So I was wondering, I was like, what is happening in the chat right now when it comes to Joshua over here? The Marvel Cinematic Universe. Oh, man, the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Marvel Studios is, they're struggling a little bit. I mean, they're still going to be making money, especially next year. This year, they didn't quite make a lot of money, and the money that they usually make. Well, superhero fatigue is definitely a thing. I don't care what anybody says. There definitely is a thing that's happening, especially when it comes to the international box office, because, a lot of people were talking about the domestic box office, which other people had issues with, which was weird, but it was weird that the domestic box office was shooting up like crazy while the international one wasn't. And I don't know why people have an issue with it, but then again, the people who have an issue with it have an issue with Superman. They didn't really say that stuff about Fantastic Four, naturally. And I remember I kept on being told on Twitter that, nobody's going to be talking about Superman. No one's going to be talking about Superman after 2 weeks and blah, blah, blah. It's just nobody's going to be talking. I get those comments underneath my videos. Nobody's going to be talking about this movie. Yet everybody's still talking about this movie. And especially the haters out there are talking about it every fucking day, which is crazy. Not to mention they're keeping it up too. They're keeping up the conversation as well, which is what you got to do. Now, when it comes to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, that's where they needed a little bit better PR or something. I don't know, but it just seems like Spider-Man and Avengers next year. Let's just face it, Marvel's going to dominate next year for sure. But it's funny because now we have like actors in the past, in past movies, kind of coming out going, yeah, Marvel Studios, Jesus Christ. The first one I wanted to talk about was Ray Winstone. And who the hell is Ray Winstone? Gosh, I don't know. I mean, I recognize the name. I recognize the actor. He's been in things, many things. But he was in Black Widow. And now I don't really remember it because I did not like Black Widow. I saw it once, and that's all I needed to see. But he, according to Variety right here, we have a quote, and this is what he had to say. When it came to Ray Winstone, says he had to reshoot all of his scenes in Black Widow. We know that. I said she should recast the role, but I was contracted. He wanted to get recast. So I had to do it. I go back, and they do my hair all nice, put me in the suit. I couldn't do it. It's also said in here, too, that his soul kind of died a little bit. He says, Marvel takes away from getting... Okay, so here we go right here. Let's open up the whole article. And look at this title right here. Ray Winstone recalls frustration with Black Widow reshoots. Says Marvel takes away from getting cultural films made. It's all about selling tickets. So, yeah, he's going to town. Big time. It's all about selling tickets. We see what's happening in Hollywood, Marvel, and all of that kind of stuff. There is room for it, and it's fun, but it takes away from getting cultural films made, which are best for the actors and are really good acting parts. It's getting more and more difficult to do that. If you're not on social media now, they might not even consider you for a movie because they want a fan base to come with that. Yeah, I think Maya Hawke was talking about that, right? She was talking about that. And then she said, I worked with this amazing director, Kate Shortland. Of course, this is on Black Widow, and we worked on what my character was going to be. He was like a pedophile running around all these girls, obviously, when he worked in the Red Room and all that stuff, and they'd become Black Widows. We used to get applauded on set. It was probably the best thing I've done for a really long time. So then, of course, I come home after finishing the job and get called saying we need to do some reshoots. I say, how many scenes? Kate says, all of them. So I said they should recast the role, but I was contracted. Of course, that's a quote we already saw. Yeah, can you imagine doing that? You're like, you got applauded. You thought you did a great job. You really found the character. And then he goes, I'm not doing it now. I've done it. That's how it's going to be. That's rejection, you know. There's nothing worse than doing something, leaving it on the floor, and then being told it's not right. Yikes. Yikers. I mean, Jesus. That sucks. And see, you can't do this. And this is why we're hoping that Jimmy Gunn's is hoping to prevent being done as well when it comes to DC Studios. It's like, we don't want to see this shit. But I was like, seeing all that, I'm like, damn. He's throwing a little shade. And then we have Kumail Nanjiani, of course, who might be joining the DCU. He also talked about, this one we don't have an article. This was on a podcast, it looked like. But look what Kumail was promised. Look at what he was promised when he signed on for the Eternals. Kumail Nanjiani reveals he signed on to play Kingo in 6 MCU films and a video game. You're like, okay, so I'll be doing Marvel movies every year, and in between, I'll do my own little things. None of that happened. Crazy. Imagine getting the contract. Marvel Studios, the biggest studio in Hollywood, that's churning out these big, huge blockbuster movies. You're going to sign a big, huge contract, and when you go, oh shit, wow, I'm pretty much set. Well, I mean, he's already set because, you know, he's a prolific comedian and he's been in a lot of movies and TV shows. But I mean, imagine signing that and you're like, I'm going to get 6 movies. And they probably in there, he was like, he knew exactly how much he was going to get for each movie, including the video game. And then Eternals doesn't quite reach the audience. And then they just go, all right, we're done with that. Sorry. I mean, and that's how you get like these guys, these actors, these names in these roles, because you promise them a lot. You promise them a lot, but then look what happens. But then at the same time, I'm going, well, that is business, though. But it's just interesting because I think they just misfired with Eternals, because if you watch Eternals, it's not a bad movie. I just think it should have been a series because it felt like it needed a lot more breathing room, even though they gave it a pretty hefty runtime for an MCU movie. I just think it should have been, I think it should have just been a series. I think it could have benefited from a series. I don't know. You doubt Jimmy Guns can prevent this? What? Prevent reshoots? Yeah, you can prevent reshoots, because as long as the script is 100% there, you can prevent like a really extensive reshoots 100%. Anyways, that's it when it comes to MCU actors talking about Marvel Studios and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's like you're going to keep on hearing stuff like this. All right. Let's get to the box office. Good to see you, Axel. Yeah, I don't know what's going on, Mr. Perkins. You okay there, bud? You're saying some... Every time I look over, I'm like, you're saying a lot of things there, man. Let's just relax a little bit, you know? Relax. All right, so the box office was an interesting box office because number one at the box office was something that is a Netflix movie that got released, apparently. I think it's a Netflix thing. And so I'm just kind of like, okay, interesting that obviously we had a couple of new movies that came out, but nothing like, nothing that was really going to move anything. Like I said, I saw Honey Don't. I thought that was going to be something interesting and cool, and it ended up not being all that great. And that was number 8 at the box office, $3 million. And then we had that Relay movie, which I think is actually going to be going to Hulu. That only made 1.9. You had that Eden movie, that only made $1 million. A lot of limited stuff was released. Honey Don't was like the most. No, not Relay actually got released on more theaters. Anyways, here we go. This is what happens right here when they just recite, all right, we might as well just release this K-pop Demon Hunters. What? Netflix? Okay. So apparently a lot of people are talking about K-pop Demon Hunters. I've been seeing it online. I have no idea what the hell it is. I have no desire to watch it. But then they decided to release it, and it made $18 million. Very interesting. Very interesting. Yeah. And then, of course, Weapons, which just keeps on killing it. $38 million budget, and it's pretty much at $200 million. So it's already made so much freaking money. So much freaking money. All right. Let's see here. I can't do anything. Any moderators out there? I know. I need to get more moderators. Might have to make some other people some moderators, so. Yeah. Let's see. Anyway, sorry, I'm getting distracted. See, this is what sometimes I get distracted right here because we got freaking Josh right here like spamming the chat right now. So it's kind of sorry guys. I hate it when that kind of stuff happens. Let me see here. I'm like, there's no moderator. I don't have any in my. There we go. Thank you, Eric. Put up like, yeah, get him out of there. Thank you. I was like wondering, I'm like, do I not have any moderators right here in it? Because it's just like, I don't know what the hell he was even talking about. I don't know. Somebody made him a member. He was a member too. But I'm like, what is he even, and it was distracting because all of a sudden it was just like, brrr. So thank you, Eric. I appreciate that. All right, continuing. And then we got Freakier Friday, which is third. That made 100. That's at 113.2. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what was happening either. Like I said, I don't really remember I don't remember seeing that guy in there. So, and then of course we have Fantastic Four, which I might make 500 million or 500. Yeah, 500 million. It's okay. It's all right, Clone Avenger. You didn't know. It's all right. Now, like I said, it's the thought that counts when it comes to gifting. So, but yeah, he was just like big time crashing out and just saying some weird shit. So, and then I'm like, with my little chat that I have open right here, for some reason I couldn't do anything with it. I don't know why it wasn't working, but it wasn't working. But yeah, 490 million when it comes to Fantastic Four, and Bad Guys 2, nobody. Superman, of course, $604 million. So Superman crosses $600 million, and it's a flop, guys. It's 100% a flop. Crazy, right? I didn't know that a $600 million movie could ever be a flop. It's weird. It's very strange that that's a flop. We got like F1 movie. It's at 603, just below it. According to some, and there's a certain YouTuber out there, I saw his tweet. It's really terrible that F1, it's sad that Superman is barely making more money than F1. And I was like, wow, of course that guy would say that. I mean, his whole freaking demeanor online is to destroy James Gunn and the DCU. So, but it was just funny because I'm like, how many movies? Yeah. Aquaman made more money than fucking Batman vs Superman and Man of Steel. That's right. Aquaman did. Captain Marvel did. Oppenheimer made more. Avatar, and nobody even, that's right. A biopic and fresh characters made more than. It's like, well, you really want to play that game? It's like, it's ridiculous, man. F1, of course, made money internationally because it's F1. 417.9 million of that 603 is international because that is an international sport. Naturally, that was always going to be the case. But internationally, there is superhero movies just ain't selling. But of course, these guys always think, oh yeah, if it was, Man of Steel 2 with Zack directing, $1 billion. No, it wouldn't have been. It would have been probably the same thing. Probably would have been the same outcome. Just saying. Yeah, I think like the average, I think now like they said this too. When it comes to 2025 is the first time in like a decade that no superhero movie crossed $700 million. So this is the first time in like a decade a superhero movie has not crossed $700 million. That just shows you right there. Shows you right there. All right, he's back. He's back. Get rid of him. Somebody, please. Moderator, Eric, somebody. Or I could do it. We got to just, all right. Yeah, there we go. Thank you. Jesus Christ. Gotta love it. Anyways, let's move on to Street Fighter. We got Street Fighter behind the scenes. And no, not behind the scenes of the 1994 version. We got behind the scenes of the new version, and they are about to start filming. So there's a bunch of images and everything that people are posting, and we got one in particular. We got two in particular ones that are just like, oh wow, this is pretty cool. Let's first start off. We have the actor and actress that I can't remember their names, and it's not listed right here. Let's see who plays Chun-Li. That's Kalina Ling, who's playing Chun-Li, and I forgot who's playing Vega, but this is them right here, and she is just gorgeous, by the way. She is just gorgeous. Look at her. Look at them. She's wearing a Street Fighter shirt as well. But yeah, she is woo. And then of course he's rocking his abs. He's got the slight little Vega mask on. Apparently Vega's gonna be blonde. So he's got the ponytail. So I don't know. I thought Vega was like brown hair. You know, he's from Spain, isn't he? But then again, it's not that they don't have blondes in Spain. So that's cool. So there she. I mean, sheesh. Look, you know, yeah, and then there they are again. Look respectfully, guys. And then, of course, this is, I'm not sure I know this is Andrew Schultz who is playing, I forgot exactly who he's playing. This is Andrew Schultz. I forgot the character he's playing because I'm not familiar with that character. And then you have Andrew Schultz showing, doing some fight choreography stuff, so. Get a little behind the scenes when it comes to that. And then, I mean, there you go right there. Somebody did this. I mean, I don't know why they had to use this version. They could have used like a better version of Chun-Li right there. But man, I tell you what. And of course, naturally, we already saw this when it came to Cody Rhodes, and obviously he's Guile. You could see the army pants and boots, and then of course you see the flat top, which is good. But then we saw this right here. This is 50 Cent, who's playing Balrog, sitting right there. We saw this image earlier, but we did not see this guy right here standing here with the Goldilocks. What? Who's that? Oh, that's Nick Santino. Of course, we know who that is, and I guess that's Andrew Schultz. I guess he's wearing a wig for his role. But let's scroll up. That's right. Noah Santino. He posted this today, showing his Street Fighter bod, which he's always been in good shape. You know, at one point he was actually supposed to play He-Man. He was actually cast as He-Man, I tell you. But there he is, just flexing right there. And yeah, he's got the locks. He's got the Ken Masters locks, the blonde locks. So yeah, that's the behind the scenes that we're getting right now. I cannot stop staring at Kalina Leung. She is just, she's hot. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. But yeah, so that's just a little behind the scenes. I'm sure some more will come about, because I mean, the one good thing about having Andrew Schultz in the movie is he is a social media presence. He has a big podcast. He is, he's blown up big time with his stand-up comedy in the past couple of years. I like Andrew Schultz. I would listen to his podcast, not all the time, but I'll listen to it. I'll try to, a couple times a month, depending on the guests they have. But I like him. So he's definitely going to be using that. So, okay. So I think Josh is back again. So I guess whoever was this Josh Perkins guy at first, he's the guy that keeps on making the accounts right here. Jeez. I tell you what. So I have like a stalker weird fan. I wonder who it is. His name is Robert. But thank you again, Eric. Thank you again, Eric. Man, you're working overtime today. It's crazy. I haven't really had like a spammer type person right here. But yeah, Ryan, he was actually, I remember like he was at first being looked at as He-Man. He definitely was. All right, I think he was actually cast at first, and then like He-Man has been in production hell for a bit, so I would never survive as a mod. It's not hard. Somebody starts spamming, you click on their name and you ban them. You ban them. I wonder if it's the same person who was spamming my Twitter. Oh no. Oh, they're deleted, or oh, okay. Maybe what was I seeing? Somebody was also spamming my Twitter. Yeah. Maybe they deleted them? No, they didn't. I don't know. I don't know if it's the same person, but somebody was like spamming and tagging me with like a bunch of AI generated comic book things. I'm not even going to go through those on here. Let's just talk about the questions over on Twitter. What a weird episode today. What a weird episode today, huh? Started off with me not having my camera on. So, all right, let's go to Twitter questions. Start off with Eric right here. I'll say it. There's a big problem with not just the Peacemaker cast, but Margot, etc., potentially moving from the DCEU to the DCU. As I've said a lot, the issue is normie audiences confused on what movies are part of it. Oh, friends, family will explain, but how can you assume that? Well, I don't know. I mean, there's so much information out there. That's the thing. It's like, if you can't get somebody to explain it, you can fucking find one of my videos. You can find an article. There's so many pieces of information out there. Kenny, hey Dave, good to be back. I'm feeling like myself again. Super excited to rewatch Superman once it hits 4K UHD Blu-ray disc. Hopefully I can get that amazing steelbook and the standard 4K UHD. Yeah, hopefully you can too. I know it'll be purty. Darkness Under the Wind. Dave, do you think since Argus is going to hunt Peacemaker later on in the second season that in the end he is forced to work with them again, which sets up the third and final season where he goes rogue and kills Rick Sr.? I don't know if he's going to go rogue, but I would not be surprised if he ends up having to work with them again. And then maybe that could build up to something when it comes to Deathstroke and Bane. We still have that movie, which could be the Secret Six, because Bane is part of the Secret Six, you know. So there could be some kind of tie-in when it comes to that. I don't know. Versus, I thought I'd throw in a wild card. Yes, I've seen this. But with the idea of Superman and Batman looking similar in past iterations, it'd be fun if Tyler Hoechlin was cast as Batman. He's 37 and shredded physique. I mean, maybe at one point, but I just can't see it now because I'm just like, he was Superman. Just like when people fan cast Cavill, and be like, oh, yeah, Jimmy Guns could do the funniest thing. I'm going, no, don't do it. No, don't do it. Don't do it. Devin Wooter, hello, Dave. Are you surprised that Superman reached 600 million? No. Forgive me for swearing, but holy shit. Uh-oh, he's back. Robert. But holy shit, did you watch the trailer for Anemone? I don't know who, oh yeah, that's the new Daniel Day-Lewis movie with his son directing. I didn't watch the trailer yet. I totally forgot to watch that trailer, so I'll have to watch it. I know people were raving about it, though. Like, the damn trailer looks good, and do you think Mortal Kombat 2 will do well at the box office? I'm hoping for it. I'm rooting for it. I definitely am, so. And then Joshua G, I don't know why, it considers your stuff spam. That's mean. What is this about?
Ugh. You know, later we're going to have to take one of those forced happiness family photos that come in the restaurant's tacky frame.
Why are you so fucking negative all the time?
What? I don't...
Jeez. Snyder cult. I never like to use the cult or the C word, cult. I never really like to do that, but I guess it's funny. It's just like, yeah, why are you negative all the time? Why are people in general negative all the time? That's what I don't get. When you could just do so much positive stuff. Like I said, when that one guy's video that was going after slabs, you know, he in the video he mentions that he's trying to build a community and he's trying to end the divide. And I'm like, you're dividing. You're helping the divide, and you're talking shit and talking down at people who like James Gunn stuff and doesn't quite like Snyder stuff. So that you're just adding. It's so funny because when it comes to all this stuff, these guys will claim that James Gunn, of course, is the one that's dividing the DC fandom. He's not. The DC fandom the division for the DC fandom started happening when James Gunn was about to release his first MCU movie. Before anybody really knew who James Gunn was. Okay? After Man of Steel, that's when it started the divide started happening because people they didn't really like the Man of Steel movie. I know like the diehards think that it's like, you know, a masterpiece and everybody liked it and blah, blah, blah. That's not the case. That started the divide. And then when it came to Batman vs. Superman, that even increased the divide because not a lot of people liked that movie at first. Of course, now, you know, 13 years later and whatever, people have now revisited those movies and went, oh, this was something different. But at the height of the MCU and Marvel Studios, it's not what people wanted. So naturally, yeah, the movie still made money, but there was bad word of mouth, sadly. But then, of course, when it came to the end of the Infinity Saga, 2019, going into the new decade, people were wanting something different. And then they started revisiting those past movies. And then with all the Snyder Cut stuff and release the Snyder Cut, then people started really going back and watching those movies and then supporting the campaigns and supporting them to release it and then watching Zack Snyder's Justice League and going, holy shit, this is something different. It's like, yeah, this is what we were trying to tell you. But you just never know what's going to happen. That's what happened back in 2013. But I mean, when you see these people that are claiming like James Gunn's keeping I had somebody in my mention say that he's adding to the discourse. He keeps on doing this and doing that. I'm like, he's not doing anything. He's just selling his stuff. He's just selling his stuff. And that's what's so funny about it all. Anyways, all right. That's it, guys. That is the show today. Sorry for all the craziness in the chat when it comes to the spam and, of course, some of the technical difficulties that I had. Sorry about all that. Hopefully, like I said, everything still should be pretty good for the most part when it comes to the entire stream. I can't even talk today. Hit that like, thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Become a member if you want to. And, of course, we got the Patreon. I'll be doing a post show. I'll be talking a little bit more post show on Patreon. So you patrons out there, you can check that out. I'll upload it tonight. Usually, sometimes I upload in the morning, but I'll try to remember to do it tonight. All right, guys. Love ya. Talk to you later.